Tshwane was a crime scene because there were multi-billion rands contracts that were illegally issued, which I challenged successfully. Okay. And I write about them in the book. Because of my efforts, the smart meter contract was cancelled. Okay. At that time, 1.4 billion rand had already been paid. But I managed to save the city 2.5 billion. And as we are aware, in the last month or so, in the last few weeks, Muslim just got PhD.
Yes.
He was replaced by Steenhuisen, who has a matric. So you need to be able to see they speak what they say and what they do. So they say we want qualified people. Yeah. Then they appoint a standard term. Solly never took any decisions in the city. He was a puppet. So after we talk, our meeting, he would go report back to his masters.
Yeah.
They would say yes or no. And then he would have now to come back again, face the embarrassment. DA do not trust the black people when they put them in power. Not at all. In fact, they make sure that they surround them with white advisors. So Solly was well known that he was just basically without backbone, a puppet, and a stooge for the DA. Title was that they were going now to frame me as an architect of corruption by using the GladAfrica contract as an example of how corrupt. This is despite the fact that the Auditor General and the Public Protector, they were very clear. There was no evidence of corruption. There was a clear mistakes made in terms of the technical.
Well, welcome to the People's Eye again. You remember at some point in 2017, the country experienced, or rather the ANC lost power in the metros, total control of the metros. Then came the phenomenon of coalition governments. So today we're speaking to the first municipal manager under the coalition government in the city of Tshwane. It's Dr Moeketsi Mosola. Dr Mosola, welcome to the People's Eye.
Thank you very much, Caesar, for having me. I'm looking forward to the conversation.
I just think it's been a long time since 2017, or rather since your tenure as the city manager of Tshwane, just to speak out about everything that has happened there while you were working there. Before we go any further, let me just, the viewers, he has written a book, The Nation's Capital, detailing his whole tenure managing the city while it was under the DA-led coalition government. So it's been a long time, eh? Now you're speaking out. Where do we start? Let's start basically rather from the beginning, just so that the listeners or the viewers know you better. Who are you? Perhaps a little bit of where you were born. Let's go to your qualifications and experience a little bit, and then we go to the matter.
Thank you very much for this opportunity to be able to chat. This is a very, very interesting topic that we are talking about now. And then you were asking me just to give you a background about myself.
Yes.
You know, I call myself, a lifetime public servant.
Okay.
When we were young, and our parents, were asking us, what do you want to be when you grow up? Some kids would say, I want to be a doctor.
Yes.
Some people say, I want to be a lawyer. I want to be an engineer. I always said that I want to serve my community. Always. I was very consistent.
Is it?
With that. So I am absolutely a public servant.
Okay.
At heart. The spirit of public servants did not just come, to me. It was inspired by my community, where I come from. I was born in Mangaung Township, in Bloemfontein.
Okay.
I went to school there, my primary at Karabelo Primary, and then my high school at the famous Moemedi High School, in Bloemfontein. Okay. Famous for good results.
Oh, yeah.
Certainly at the time when we were there, led by just incredible South Africans, Mr. James Letuka, who formed the Black Conscious Movement with Bantu Biko.
Yeah.
And it's very interesting that you are having this discussion at a time when the Biko files have just been opened to actually determine who were responsible for his death, and may his soul rest in peace. Yeah. So yes, I went to Moemedi where Mr. James Letuka was the principal. My church community was very, very tight. Going within the Catholic Church. And it is in the Catholic Church where really I think my spirit and experience of service was really nurtured and developed. So normally what would happen at my church on Sundays after church, 11 o'clock, the Catholic father, as we call them, which is basically the parish priest, would then take us, young boys and girls, and basically go and deliver hampers, from the to the older members of the church who were too old to come to church on Sundays.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so we'd deliver Eucharist, we'd deliver food, and sometimes we used to call it 3 Ps, which was basically sugar, maize, sugar, tea, and coffee. Okay. Especially during the winter for older people. Oh, yeah. It is these small acts of caring, of helping other people, that then slowly developed my passion for public service. Okay. And also growing with Catholic priests, who you have to be selfless to serve the church without a salary, where you literally basically dedicate your entire life to serving God and to serving the people within which you live. So growing up around such figures for me was quite very, very important, because it actually said, okay, it is possible to live your life where absolutely you can take your life and dedicate selflessly to other people. And then when I finished my high school, then I was very, very fortunate to get a scholarship. Okay. The scholarship was offered by Educational Opportunities Council, EOC used to be called. Okay. The patron of the scholarship was the late Bishop Desmond Tutu. Managed to raise money internationally, and gave opportunities to South Africans such as me, who showed some level of leadership and academic ability. Yes. So you'd actually be funded to go and study in the US. So thanks to the late Bishop Tutu, that's when we say that we stand on shoulders of giants, because it is because of their efforts that I was able to get the opportunity. And the only thing that they asked us to do was just to come back once we finish your degree.
Yeah. So your tertiary, you didn't study locally. You went abroad after finishing high school.
After high school, definitely. Oh, okay. I started just a degree at Wits, but in the middle of my degree at Wits, I got a scholarship and I left.
Oh, I see.
And then, I finished my, my undergrad. I did my Bachelor of Science in Neuroscience and Human Biopsychology. So I'm a scientist.
Oh, okay.
I'm actually, for my undergraduate, I am trained, as a qualified scientist. I also did my honors in neuroscience. Okay. After that, I came back home to do some, to do some work. But I was still very keen to go back to school. And then in 1999, I went back to the US. Okay. This time, I got another scholarship, whose patron was Dr. Nelson Mandela. In fact, it was called the Nelson Mandela Economic Scholarship for the study of economics at U.S. institutions. Yeah. I went to do my master in economics from the University of Houston, in Texas. Yeah. So that makes me the Nelson Mandela Economic Scholar.
Okay.
because I did complete.
So now there you were doing economics.
I was studying
strictly.
economics, straight economics.
You
Very,
kind of-
very important topic.
You're a versatile person.
Absolutely. One of the things that I liked about studying in the US, they encourage multidisciplinary education.
Oh, yeah.
They say they encourage people not only to study one thing,
Yes.
to try to be able to really just like go across, because sometimes it is in the intersection of
Yeah.
different fields
Yeah.
where no new knowledge is produced.
True.
But I think also, to be honest, I mean, Caesar, when you say that, it also, I think, is my character also. I find that I like doing different things, and I've accepted the fact that actually my personality,
it's like that.
it's like that. Because once I finished my master's, I came back home and worked. And then, I was itchy again to go back to school. So the only degree I did in South Africa, which I'm very proud of, is my doctorate.
Okay.
Yeah, so I did my Doctor of Philosophy from University of Pretoria.
Oh, okay.
And in human movement sciences, which is like basically management, sports management.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm a sports
now it's
fanatic.
a different. So you've got qualification in 3 different fields.
3 different fields, which
interesting.
Very related.
Yeah.
And it's very rare also to find a person with such diverse, quality of skills.
Exactly. Now the challenge comes. Where do you want to focus now? What really drives you? So you spoke about being a public servant from an early age.
Absolutely.
I think that's why we're here.
Absolutely. And from that and that, diverse background prepared me to be able to deal with matters in a completely different way, because I actually can really look at my psychology. I can actually look at my neuroscience. I can look at my science to be able to do stuff. So I never felt like it was not completely separate. If anything, I felt that I actually academically I was very, very strong.
Yeah.
My first introduction to public service in South Africa, I was appointed in the office of Dr. Nelson Mandela.
Okay.
As an RDP officer placed in the Free State province.
Okay.
Where I was responsible for 2 very, very important programs.
Yeah.
One was to introduce food nutrition in schools.
Oh. Okay.
Because post-apartheid, post-1994, a lot of kids were failing in school because they did not have food at home. Because the parents were struggling because the economy was very bad.
Yes.
So it was very important that at least government can provide these kids with food so that they are able to learn, because otherwise they would not be able to learn.
Okay.
Nelson Mandela announced that all the kids will be fed.
Yes.
And I was responsible for implementing that for the Free State province.
Okay.
The second one, Nelson Mandela announced that all the children under the age of 6 will have free access to healthcare in any hospital in the country.
Okay.
At the time.
And
there was a reason for that. The mortality rate of young people was very high. And young kids were actually dying, not because they could not be cured, simply because they did not have access
to hospital
healthcare.
Healthcare in general.
That's why then Nelson Mandela made it completely free. So I was also responsible for implementing that in the Free State.
Yeah.
And then 3 was the program for pregnant women.
Okay.
Which was basically to say all pregnant women must have access to healthcare. Are you with me?
I'm with you. So, also at the time, just for the benefit of the young people, even myself, I was still very, very young to understand at that time. So we're just out, the democratic ANC-led government had just taken over.
They had just taken over in 1994.
So healthcare was not for free.
It was not for free.
You had to pay at a clinic, you had to pay at a hospital.
You had to pay for it. Not only was it not affordable, it was not there. So if you're living in a rural area,
there was no clinic.
For an example, there is no clinic. So there would be a mobile clinic that comes once a month, which meant that people only had access to a doctor once a month where they live.
Hence, the mortality rate was high for children under 6 years old, even pregnant women.
Absolutely. Some pregnant women. Some pregnant women would not even be able to see the doctor until they're like 4 or 5 months pregnant. And if they had any challenges with their pregnancy, it's too late.
Where I grew up in the village, there were midwives in the village. Birth was given right there in the village.
Absolutely. So those are the programs I was saying. Anyway, I was very successful in doing that in the Free State. I got promotion and moved to the national government. In fact, my office was placed at the Union Building, now coordinating those programs.
From national now for all the provinces.
National level. Yeah. So my career really was progressing very well and doing well in the public service. I mean, I think the big break was when I was appointed the CEO of South African Tourism in 1989.
Okay.
No, sorry.
1999.
1999, sorry. Yeah. Right. I was appointed the CEO of SA Tourism, marketing South Africa internationally. Okay. I mean, let me tell you, as a South African, you don't get a better job than that. We did some amazing things there. I remember we ran a campaign just to remind South Africans that they belong to this country. Yeah. That it is theirs. That they can travel it too. We had to do that because, remember, when you were going to Durban, you had to go to Mgababa. Beach. That's the only place where you could swim because our people were told no, they can't swim anywhere on any beach strip. Yeah. In KZN or in Western Cape. Yeah, we're actually dismantling the apartheid structures at that time. Yeah. At the time. But the pride, mentality, the pride of telling our people that this is your country too. Enjoy it, travel it, take your kids out, go to the park. And, the reaction at first was very strange, because other people are like, who are you? What are you telling us? What are you talking about? They're only used to their own spaces, apartheid spaces, And then, to dismiss you, people will be like, it's expensive. But you'll be like, no, but the local parks are not. It's 10 rand to take a walk. Yeah. Hey, in your interesting. Park. And just doing that. So that was a very, very important job. We did some really incredible work there. Okay. And then, were you promoting SA tourism internally or even internationally? Both internally and internationally. Okay. So I established about 11 offices internationally. Okay. I'm the first person to open our office in Kenya. Oh. In Nigeria. Yes. In China. Yes. So we were expanding at the time. Okay. And we were very clear. We had identified tourism as a very key economic sector to develop economy. Yeah. How important was Mandela's name as you market South Africa out very of? Very, very important. When we said from South Africa, everybody opened their doors at the time. It is such a stark difference with what's happening in the US today. And it's amazing that I've lived long to actually see it because I remember being a South African in 1994 around the world because of the stature of the leader that we had at the time was just simply amazing. And Mandela people just didn't like him because he went to prison for 27 years. Mandela touched a very important, a raw nerve in people, the power of forgiveness. And Mandela was clear that forgiveness is part of helping you and us as a nation to move forward. And when the people knew, especially white people, knew what they did to black people and the nature, the horror of it, I'm talking about the lynching. I'm talking about the rape, of black women. I'm talking about the families that just lost kids who just basically were killed. I'm talking about the kids, the activists who were fried here at Flag Plus. Yeah, are there. It was horrible. So for somebody like Nelson Mandela to say that we forgive you, not only that, but we need to work together to develop. That's something that touched the world. And that is why wherever we went, hey, Nelson Mandela, you say you're from South Africa, you say, oh, Nelson Mandela. So yes, to your point, that name was quite important and it did help us a lot to market South Africa and that. Okay. And then last but not least, I went into private sector, worked with Imperial. Yeah. That's when I decided to go to school to do my PhD.
Okay.
It was when I finished my PhD that then I actually really started working at the city.
At the city of Tshwane.
That was February 2017.
Yeah, before we get into it, was it your idea though that after finishing your PhD, you would like to get into government again? And
not at all, not immediately.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you why when I say not immediately. You remember I said that I'm a public servant.
Yes.
You know, at heart.
At heart, yeah.
So we had just come out of the state capture. I think we were all feeling bad as South Africans, what has just happened. And I think as South Africans, we were like, how did this happen? I mean, we were all here.
Yeah.
You know, trillion rand.
Yes.
Just gone just like that. You know? So there was also kind of like a sense of service, you know. Maybe I can help, you know.
Yeah.
You know, and it was not only me. I think a lot of South Africans looked at this thing to say that we can do better than this.
Yeah.
So when I finished my PhD, I was just going to go back into the private sector, you know, until the invitation came through to say, hey, you know what, there is an opportunity. And that opportunity must be explained also because it also lays the foundation of what happens later in Tshwane. So ANC loses the elections in 2016, August, thereabout. I think it was on the 21st of August, 2016.
Yeah.
A few weeks later, a new coalition for the first time is born in the city of Tshwane.
Yeah.
Primarily led by the DA in conjunction with the EFF.
Yes.
There were other, however, smaller parties that were part of the coalition, but they were very, very small.
Yeah.
I mean, the what do you call it? The UDM was in there. The UCD, UCDM, UCDP.
UCDP,
was in that particular coalition. COPE.
Yes.
So, but those were like one council.
Yeah.
The real coalition was DA, EFF.
And the EFF. And the EFF was still fairly new at that time.
In fact, it was for the first time that they had councillors in any of the municipalities. So you are absolutely correct. And since again, you keep putting your finger on these things because that becomes relevant because the EFF was very inexperienced. Their councillors was for the first time. Any of them had been in council.
Yeah.
And not only that, if you remember, they also attracted very, very young
people,
electorate. And to their credit, they did change the profile of councillorship in terms of age because most of the EFF councillors, even today, when you look at them, are relatively young. Are young people. So from August, September, October, November, December, January, the EFF and the DA, as the coalition partners, could not agree on who the city manager for Tshwane should be. That is why for 6 months after the elections, there was only an acting city manager. There was no permanent person.
I remember it went for a long time.
It went for a long time.
Yeah, it was a bit of a crisis.
It was, because they could not agree on who the city manager
should be.
Okay. So a couple of things, because this background is also equally important.
Yeah.
The lady who was Lindy was the acting city manager there.
Yeah.
Had applied for the job. The DA had identified one white guy who ran for the mayorship in the city to be the city manager.
Yeah.
But then the EFF said, no, you will not appoint a white city manager. They were very clear. In fact, they even went public about it. They were completely unapologetic about it.
Yeah.
So then the DA candidate fell.
Yeah.
Then the person who was left was, of course, Lindy. Then the EFF said, but Lindy was too ANC for our liking. So we would like to get somebody who's neutral.
Or a neutral person.
There in comes me, because I was not a member of any political party. I was a professor at the University of Pretoria at the time.
So how does it happen? You get approached you have to apply?
The application is out.
Okay.
You know, listen, we've been looking for a city manager, and they were quite honest.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of people don't agree, but you know what? In the process of search, we started to headhunt
Yeah.
And that's where your name come up. And we would like you to consider the job. I mean, I remember just telling them straight up no at the time.
Yeah.
I said no. I mean, I thank you very much, but no thanks.
Oh, what were your reservations?
I mean, look, I had been in government before. I had been a CEO in a state-owned enterprise, South African tourism.
Yeah.
I had been so I know the politics of public service. And at the time, I had just come out of the private sector. I was really enjoying teaching. I had just finished my PhD. So I don't think mentally I was ready to go into. Yeah. But to be honest, after I left, the discussion, I started to reflect about it. I started to get excited to say, oh, you know what? It's the capital city. We could actually make a difference and so on, and so forth. Yeah. And then, by the end of the weekend, of course, it's like, why not?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then, I put my head my name in the hat.
Yeah. Little did you know.
Little did I know.
What we're getting into.
Absolutely. and I must say, it's not against advice. I mean, some of my friends were just blunt with me. They're like, are you crazy? Yeah. But then I would say to them, that, and I still maintain them, and that's why I will work for government again. I honestly want to face my kids. When they say, Dad, where were you? And what did you do when our country was being dismantled like this? And I wanted to be able to say that I did raise my hand. I did do the best that I can against all odds. And this is what I'm able to do. So we have a collective responsibility, Sizwe. We only have one country, only one country. That's the thing about it. And that's one thing that our people must realize. There's only one country we have. And we lose it. Yeah, we're going to end up like many other Africans who are in our country today. We will be in Zimbabwe. We will be in Angola. We will be in other countries unless we get our governance correct, unless we run our country properly. That's really what drove me back into the city to say that we must and we have to change the way things are. Yeah.
Okay. Great. Now you can take us through. Then you get into the office. What happens?
Yeah.
How did you find things there?
So it was. I mean, I want to speak openly and plainly about what I found there.
Yeah.
Tshwane was a crime scene.
Oh.
When I got there.
Okay.
Tshwane was a crime scene because there were multi-billion rands contracts that were illegally issued, which I challenged successfully. Okay. And I write about them in the book.
No, I remember that halabaloo about that, at that time.
So there was a broadband contract. So the broadband contract was a 2.5 billion rand contract. The whole idea was a great idea. Connect the city wall to wall so that everybody in Tshwane have access to free internet. Yes. Free internet is very important in our country today. It's life. It's literally like water. Kids need data to do homework today. They need the data to apply for work. There is just so much that depends on the ability to communicate with the external world. Yeah. That if a city can be able to provide that to our citizen, half of your problems are done. So the idea was correct. However, there was no intention from Mayor Ramokgopa. Sputla was the mayor at the time, and his council. There was never an intention to really do that, because the way that contract was done, it was found out to be illegal, by the court. Yeah. And then even though the court, overturned it, later. The other contract was what they call the so-called smart meter system. Okay. So smart meter, again, great idea. one of the challenges that Tshwane faces is collection of rates and taxes.
Yeah.
And part of the reason why they struggle is because they do not have good meters and accurate meters. That basically, what's the name for it? That measures, use effectively and bills people correctly.
Yeah, yeah.
Another 2.5 billion rand contract. That contract was allocated and issued illegally. I challenged it successfully in court and won.
Okay.
Number 3, in Tshwane here, there's a place called Event Center. It's a well-known. It's called Event Center, but it's or showground. It's actually popular.
The showground.
It's the Tshwane showground.
Okay.
The ANC council had taken that and given the contract for 95 years to a group of white owners there. Right?
Yeah.
A strategic piece in the middle of the city. When I found out the whole issue was not done correctly. As a responsible city manager, I went to the owners. I started to negotiate with them to see how we can resolve the matter. They were completely arrogant about it. So I went to court and I won. And as we sit here now, Tshwane has that back.
Yeah.
Yeah. So because of my effort, and I say my effort, we must also think of the team behind it.
Yeah, we are not alone.
Yeah, absolutely.
So while you touch on that point before you carry on, were you able to appoint your own HODs? And
yes, I will come to the appointment process.
Yeah.
So because of my efforts, Tshwane has the event center, the showground back in the hands of the city. Because of my efforts, the smart meter contract was cancelled. Okay. At that time, 1.4 billion rand had already been paid. But I managed to save the city 2.5 billion. Right? So this is the type of city manager that you think you want, to have. Now, one of the things that you must understand, when the new government comes in, even if it's a new political party, they hijack the deals that they find in the system already. So the DA councillors hijacked ANC corrupt deals and made them their own.
And they wanted to move with them as they were.
As they were, because you see what happens. The private sector outside, they don't care about the ANC or the DA. They just want the horse that is in charge. So the guys go to them to say that, don't worry, man, about this thing. We can sort you out. So what are bad ANC contracts that were concluded during the ANC, they now get intercepted and hijacked by the new guys.
Yeah. So, but as you try to rectify this, obviously the ANC looks at you as a puppet of the DA.
Absolutely.
But how does the DA look at you now?
But at the same time now, some DA guys now are now in charge of this deal, so starting to look, but why are you digging so much deeper? We have other things to worry about. Leave this thing.
Yeah.
So you are forever between a rock and a hard place. And you're trying to do what is right in terms of the law.
Yeah.
So those are some of the things that I found on the big contract side.
Wait, what was the EFF saying about it? Were they backing you, or they were also...
The EFF was just happy that I was apolitical.
Okay.
They really liked that. And they liked the fact that this was not a city manager that could be manipulated either by the DA or by the ANC or us, because even them, they never asked me anything. They were just happy that this is a fair person who will be able to run the municipality the way it's supposed to run.
Okay.
But you see, I was okay with the DA until I started dealing with the wrong things that they were doing. So one of the things that they did, which was wrong, talking about what I found there, I found that the office of the mayor in Tshwane had appointed very senior white staff, DA former councillors, who did not qualify to to have those positions. So there is a case of Marietta Ocampo,
Okay.
which is a well-known case. I can say it because it went to the public protector, the investigation was done, and it was established that she lied
Yeah.
about her qualifications. She lied about having a national diploma in human resource development from Tshwane University of Technology. I found out through an investigation that she lied about it. She did not possess those qualifications. And as a city manager, I had no option but to suspend her.
Okay.
But that then put me on a collision course, not only with the executive mayor, but with the entire party.
So, as you come in as a municipal manager, she's already hired.
Yes.
By there was an acting municipal manager.
That's correct.
Okay.
That is correct.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Thank you for that clarification because it's important. Because remember, I joined the city 6 months.
Yeah.
After the elections.
Yeah.
So the acting city manager is the one who actually ultimately appointed,
Okay.
which was actually an irregular
Appointment.
appointment. Now, when I dealt with that in a manner that I did, it put me on a collision course because now I was not doing my work. I was now embarrassing the DA. I was making them look bad, but I was saying all these officials have lied. So it was okay when I was sanctioning other candidates from other parties.
Yeah.
But once you deal with their their guys, that's when you realize that no. So the DA, it's good as long as it doesn't affect them. Corruption is corruption as long as it's done by other people.
Yeah.
When it's done by them.
But the DA is supposed to cater deployment. So, but what you found there, it was catered deployment that they implemented themselves.
The DA must not fool anyone. The DA is not opposed to cater deployment. The DA practices cater deployment. And then if they deny that, they must explain to you what happened.
Yeah.
In Tshwane. How is it that 3 very senior public servants, head of security, chief of staff, an officer responsible in communication, all of them did not have the qualifications. Yet they deployed them. They deployed them there.
Okay.
So that is absolutely no. The other thing, they talk a lot about qualifications.
Yeah.
How people should have qualifications. Msimanga, when he left the DA, had 2 master's degrees. And as we are aware, in the last month or so, in the last few weeks, Msimanga just got PhD.
50 years.
He was replaced by Steenhuisen, who has a matric. So you need to be able to see the speak, what they say and what they do. So they say we want qualified people.
Yeah.
Then they appoint a standard 10.
Yeah.
Then they say ANC practices cadre deployment. Yet they take their white chief of staff, politicians, they deploy them in the office of the mayor. So don't be fooled about what they say. You must look at what they do. And it is in what they do. And they become vicious when you challenge them. I think the case of Marietta was a very classic case.
Yeah.
They absolutely were completely vicious after I had served the notice of intention to suspend her.
Do you think your problems with them began there? You started with rectifying the contracts that were not properly allocated.
That's correct.
Then you go to the qualifications of staff.
And fine. And then,
but where do you think? At what point do you think you had touched the nerve?
So I touched the nerve at different points.
Okay.
When I started to realize that some of the contracts were hijacked by DE councillors.
Yeah. Okay.
That was very interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. And then, of course, I deal with the issue of the chief of staff.
Oh, yeah.
And I deal with it procedurally.
Okay.
And then the mayor wants me to find some funny way to deal with this thing. And as I say, in in the book. He says, why didn't I report this matter? I say, as a city manager, I don't report fraud to the executive mayor. I report fraud to the police.
Yeah.
So that's what the law, places an obligation.
Yeah.
There were other issues which were absolutely bad in the city. Answering your question of what did you find there?
Yeah.
My brother, there was a stench from my office in the city center that came from days of uncollected waste that was spread across the city. So the services were not delivered. There was, when I got there was a problem with a waste removal, contract.
It's a capital city.
It's a capital city.
All the ambassadors, I think their homes are here, offices.
As a city manager, the amount of calls when I got there that I used to get from embassies that did not have electricity. Lights for safety, street lighting. I'm talking about basic services. So I got a city in crisis, not only insofar as corruption is concerned, insofar as service delivery, service delivery was concerned, and lastly was all the HODs were in acting positions, heads of department. So you had an organization which did not have leaders.
Problem.
And the issue about being acting, it's not necessarily acting in itself is bad. No, it's politicians make people act for too long because when they are acting, they are vulnerable to ask them to do things that are wrong. Because if you don't do so, because I'm not going to appoint you.
Yeah, so they having ambitions that they have gotten a slight opportunity to be appointed to be the HOD. So I've got to abide by
already have
all the instructions.
You already have food in the door.
And
stuff like that. On the issue of the appointment, the only thing that I want to say on this thing to move on from it. I found out that the HOD at the time, a gentleman by the name of Gerald Shigange, had allowed this whole process of appointing the chief of staff to happen.
Okay.
He was the head. He was the one who should have checked.
Yes.
He was the one who should have made sure that she did not even make into the interview room. He was the one who made sure once the appointment is taking place that the qualifications are put on file because the city. He didn't do that. And I referred the matter to Office of Public Protector. And the report of the Public Protector, it's in the book. I give a reference to it. On that outcome, recommended that I suspend him. And I did. But after my settlement with the city, he miraculously came back. And as I speak to you today,
he's still there.
He's still there.
Same position.
Same position. So the question is to the executive mayor Moyer, the current executive mayor, and to the city manager. How do they explain this to South Africans? How do they explain this to the city? That here is the person who was involved in one of the biggest qualification scandal. He was found by the public protector to have committed wrong things, yet he's still working in the city as if nothing has happened.
Because public protectors' decisions are binding.
They are binding. There was a court ruling on that. You remember Zuma took the public protector to court? It was Advocate Ulima Duzel at the time. And the court said the decisions of the public protector, the remedial actions of the public protector are binding. So yes, I mean, you guys are journalists. I'm not going to tell you how to suck eggs, but these are fundamental questions that the people in the city needs to know about. Executive mayor, how is it that you allow your city manager, how is it that you allow the head of HR with such a very serious report from the public protector still basically going on and managing the city? So my job, therefore, in the city was to clean to clean this. All right. And in cleaning that, I was very clear, right, that I had to depoliticize the city. You know, the officials in the city were like almost politicians.
Yeah.
So we had to make sure that we depoliticized. As we were appointing people, then that's when the politicians start to say, appoint so and so. That became another area of war between me and the city manager. I'm sorry, and the executive mayor.
Yeah.
Because he would come to say, appoint so and so for...
Who was the mayor at that time?
That's Solly Msimanga.
Okay.
And I do also want to say a little bit about him, just to put context.
Yeah.
He would come with names of the official to say, let's appoint so and so, and I would refuse. You know, I would refuse. I say, but mayor, you appoint me to be the city manager to run the city.
Yeah.
Surely you should allow me to be able to get the right professionals. Because if you do that, then you can hold me accountable for my ability to do or failure to do work.
Exactly.
But you can't have that. Solly Msimanga was a very interesting character. When I got into the city, I don't even think he expected to be mayor. I think the results of the elections were quite surprised.
They were quite surprised. Yeah.
They were quite a surprise. But they did well, and of course they won, and he was the mayor. Very interesting character.
Yeah.
That I just want to put. I found him exceptionally dishonest as a leader. So what do I mean by that? You see, when you are a city manager, you are head of administration. When you are an executive mayor, you are head of the political leadership.
Yeah.
I'm responsible for implementing the council policy as agreed. The mayor is responsible for oversight. That is executive oversight, that the city manager and management are doing what they're supposed to do and stuff like that. So it goes without saying, Sizwe, that the mayor and I have to absolutely work together as a team.
Yeah.
He was a very frustrating executive mayor because I would have meeting with him. We used to have our standing meetings, I think it was on a Monday.
Yeah.
And on a Monday, the mayor is very busy, right? I would make sure that for the 3-4 hours where we sit, we go through everything, the decisions that needs to be taken that week and maybe the next week.
Yeah.
And now in my style, once I leave the office of the mayor, it's execution, no questions. So we have agreed. So I just go on my desk and I just start churning out instructions in terms of implementing the decisions of the mayor.
Yeah.
But the guy who'd come the following morning and say, oops, city manager, can you please wait about those kind of things that we discussed, yesterday? But I'm like,
hey.
But the mayor doesn't work like that. I already sent the letters yesterday before I went home. The decisions were already implemented. He would actually even go to extent to say, no, cancel them. I mean, can you imagine how embarrassing that is?
Yeah.
Let alone just irresponsible to be.
Yeah.
And I found out that it's because Solly never took any decisions in the city. He was a puppet. So after we talk, our meeting, he would go report back to his masters.
Yeah.
They would say yes or no. And then he would have now to come back again, face the embarrassment of having to tell me that I must stop because now his bosses disagree.
Okay.
So that's another accusation about the DA, which I found to be true. DA do not trust the black people when they put them in power. Not at all. In fact, they make sure that they surround them with white advisors. So Solly was well known that he was just basically without backbone, a puppet, and a stooge for the DA. It became so bad that even the EFF gave up on him as a partner. You just imagine, because they were a coalition partner. Because you do the same thing to the EFF. They would agree with the leader of the EFF, Malema, and then as the political leaders, once they agreed, they instruct me to do what needs to be done. Yeah. And then the following day, Solly would change the tune. So we all gave up. Yeah. We all gave up on him. The other thing about Solly, he loved money. The guy just loved money. So there were always claims, that I used to get. I must say most of them not verifiable. But people would come to me to say that, do you know that the mayor collected the money from the guys from the suppliers?
Yeah.
So as a city manager, I would say I do not work on word of mouth. Give me the evidence, then I will deal with it. The only evidence that I ever saw, there was a video of Solly Msimanga circulating around, having been beaten up. It went viral.
No, I remember seeing that video.
In that
about
video,
1 million.
Exactly. In that video, the guy who's beating him says that you took my 1.4 million. Where's the money? Give me my money, and all that kind of stuff. So that in a way was the only thing that I ever saw where somebody actually said on the video, with Solly in the video, saying, give me my money, insofar as that is concerned. Now that's very, very dangerous on executive mayor because it's completely compromising, and it can be compromising for
true. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, for that. Now, with all these things happening, they set up a perfect storm. When the GladAfrica contract became an issue, because Caesar, this is, I believe, while everything may have started with dealing with the contracts earlier on, together with the qualification scandal of the chief of staff.
Yeah.
What really brought everything to a head was the GladAfrica contract.
Yeah.
A GladAfrica contract was a contract which was meant to solve what was a very big problem in the city. So what was the problem? When I arrived in the city, Tshwane was sitting on 10 billion rand worth of projects which had not been completed.
Okay.
Now, let me tell you how big of a waste that is. Unless you complete a project in the city, you cannot put it on your balance sheet.
Yeah.
So it means it's wasted money. 10 billion rand worth of assets. These assets were at different stages.
Yeah.
Some of them, a library that just does not have, electrical connections. I mean, now in the age of internet, that's why kids go to the library to try to do research on online.
So the walls, the roof, everything is complete.
Is there.
But
I remember that library in the northern townships. There was a housing. Just for example, there was a housing project here in Peli, at Trashville.
Yeah.
Completed. No sanitation, no water. We could not place the communities there.
Yeah.
There was a beautiful sports center, almost like just outside of Kalinen.
Yeah.
Very nice community facility where kids could actually, no water. So I'm talking about projects like that, very important projects in the life of a community. So that being the case, I said, okay, we need to deal with this thing because at least we need to make sure that we can account for this money, and those that we can complete, we put them onto the thing. And those that we can't, we demolish them so that we don't have white elephants, because then white elephants becomes areas of crime in communities. So you can't leave infrastructure standing idle like that.
So what was the role of GladAfrica?
So their role then was to help the city finish these projects.
Okay.
So that as they finished, then I put them on the balance sheet. As they finished, then we account for them.
Yeah.
And then we get to use them and maintain them and stuff like that.
Okay.
Anyway, so the GladAfrica was a company used by the Development Bank of Southern Africa.
Okay.
So in terms of the supply chain, the city can ask the DBSA to use their contract. Okay. As long as the DBSA has gone through a competitive. So you make a request, which I did.
Okay.
Which the CEO of the DBSA at the time approved. However, there were technicalities that we disagreed on when the contract starts and when the contract ends. Okay. And it is that disagreement that the DA and the mayor decided they're going to suspend me, about. So he asked me to explain it, which I did, to say that the issue of the technicality was very simple. We believed that the contract could still be used beyond November, as long as the appointment happens before November. Because we are appointing them on a 3-year contract.
Okay.
So they used that to try to see if they can suspend me. Caesar, the mayor went to the council 6 times and failed. I was never suspended as the city manager, because every time they went to the council, the other parties who said, they would say, please show us prima facie evidence. You are asking us to suspend the city manager for what? Show us. So 6 times the mayor went to council and was unable to do that. But then what they did do was to now, because they could not get me into the city, then they absolutely came for me. One of the horrible things that the DA did during that time, they hosted what they called a war room. So a war room is when the national leaders from the federal council, the provincial leaders, and the local leaders basically come together to deal with a particular topic, which in this particular case, I was the topic. The Tshwane city manager. Okay. All right. In that meeting, they were very clear that the city manager has to go, and they put an entire strategy about how I must go. Okay. So title was that they were going now to frame me as an architect of corruption by using the GladAfrica contract as an example of how corrupt. This is despite the fact that the Auditor General and the Public Protector, they were very clear. There was no evidence of corruption. There was a clear mistakes made in terms of the technical approach, but it was not. There was no Mali stolen here. Basically, that's what they were accusing me of. Number 2, they actually went and opened a case of corruption against me at the Brooklyn police station.
Just based on this GladAfrica.
Just based on that propaganda, of theirs. They also went around the city, the mayor, telling the people that me, the city manager, I'm refusing to give services to the people. Right? And I found this because it was leaked.
Also, you got the whole strategy.
I got the whole thing. As you can just imagine, I was quite shocked. It was almost like Mukanazi intercepting a WhatsApp message that shows that Kumalo and Mukanazi are on the list of people to be dealt with. It literally felt that way. Because I was clearly the target. And what was scary about it was they actually acted on it. Because the same day the case was open, I was like, this is actually happening. Conspiring, to get rid of a head of administration, it's crime. You can't sit down in dark corners as a political party, right? And conspire how to get rid of a city manager because you failed in the council to suspend him. Because you failed in court. So you're basically using guerrilla tactics. That's the other thing that the DA will do. When the law fails, they say that they are a party of laws. They say, DA says that we are party of the rule of law. Right? But when I went to court and used the law to defend myself in Tshwane, they went rogue. Right? They went into conspiracies to be able to actually suspend me without due process. They went rogue and decided that they were going to tarnish my name so that I can leave, since they are not winning in council and they're not winning in court. So here is the party of laws, Here is the party of the rule of law, right? That now believes I don't have the right to use the law to defend myself.
Yeah.
So that's why I was saying that when you deal with them, you have to see what they say and what they do.
Yeah.
And what they did again in this particular was completely to show that they actually really don't believe in the rule of law. What they do believe in is when the rule of law agrees with them. You know, in the DA's world, the law is right when it supports them.
Yeah.
But when it's against them, then it's corrupt. So yes, so that's really when the GladAfrica issue became a big deal.
Yeah, yeah.
There were a couple of things about the GladAfrica just to it was shown that there were technical mistakes that were made, which were corrected before I left.
Okay.
Because I implemented the recommendations of the Auditor General before I left the city.
Okay.
I'm that kind of a public servant.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not the kind of guy that when you get recommendation of the AG, you ignore them.
You ignore them.
No, I actually implemented all of them before I left, the city, and they were approved by council.
Yeah.
I implemented the recommendations of the public protector, both of which they said that there was no corruption.
Yeah.
You know, in that deal. And also the city decided to cancel that contract at the end.
Yeah.
And then I implemented the decision of the city.
Of cancelling the contract.
By the time I left, the council had approved the cancellation.
Okay.
Of that particular contract.
Yeah.
And then they approached me when they realized that this guy's not going anywhere, you know, and to say, hey, listen, we're sorry we had to do this thing, but listen, you know, nobody's winning here. Can we part ways? And I said, listen, I'm not going to work for a government that doesn't want me. Obviously.
Yeah, you can't force yourself.
No, I can't impose myself on you. But I'm also not going to crawl out of here like I did something wrong. So that's how I left the city. I left the city on amicable terms. One of the terms was that I'm not going to go after them, or they are not going to go after me for any of the activities that happens while I was there.
Yeah.
To my surprise, last year, 4 years after I left the city.
Yeah.
I mean, this is some crazy stuff. 4 years after, I get a letter from the lawyers of the city suing me for negligence.
What negligence?
So they say I was negligent in signing that contract.
The GladAfrica
The GladAfrica contract.
Okay.
Which has already been dealt with, which has been cancelled, which...
Yeah.
Okay. But most importantly...
But before we go into that GladAfrica contract, was there any money spent?
There was.
Oh, there was.
There was, because must remember the contract went on for about a year.
Oh, okay.
So there must have been about 300 million spent on it. There was money spent on the contract. Of course, with all the, supporting, documents.
Okay.
So the issue about it is that, so if you really believe that somebody did something wrong, you accuse them of crime, right? They didn't do that. They tried to do that while I was there. The court ruled against them.
Yeah.
The council did not agree with them. Now, after I have left, now they are using, again, they're abusing the office by going after me, even though they know that our agreement says we both agreed that this is we're not gonna go after each other. So the question that somebody must ask the city manager is that, the city manager, you have this guy's separation agreement. The separation agreement says that you are not going to go after each other in terms of like you close the matter. But then in a city that is struggling with services, you take the same money, you go and waste with the lawyer. How does this work? So the other learning is that the DA will use what I call lawfare to go after you because they are vindictive. And they do so using people's money. Somebody needs to ask this executive mayor, why under this kind of circumstances when the city is struggling with the resources, the other day they could not pay staff, but then they are spending money on lawyers, going after somebody that they have signed an agreement with to leave. Why are you doing that? You see, but the reason why they are doing that is because the people I suspended that went back afterwards, they are now abusing the resources of the city to come after me, even though they know that they will never win.
Okay.
You see?
Yeah.
Now you wonder why people in our city are struggling. It's because the money continue to be used for wrong things and for ulterior motives.
Yeah.
And that's why I strongly believe that this executive mayor needs to absolutely answer this issue. She needs to answer to say that, how do you allow this? And even worse, this executive mayor, she was the one who was preparing the agreement for the mayor at the time because she was the chief of staff.
Oh, okay.
So she knows the agreement. Okay. She knows what's in the agreement. She was there.
Yeah.
She was the one who was preparing for her boss, to sign. So you're not talking about somebody who doesn't know what happened.
Yeah.
So the question is why?
Exactly.
Then she needs to explain that.
But you had a contract, an agreement with them.
Yes.
And they are in breach of it. What is your recourse? So
my recourse is obviously go to court.
Okay.
So what I've done, when they came with this lawfare, I answered their affidavit.
Yeah.
And in court I said that, but here's the contract that I signed. So that's where they left the matter. Because they know what's in the contract.
Yeah. Hey.
So that's my recourse. My recourse is to be able to say that, but you can't come after me. And as part of that case, in my documents, I will say, and on top of that, by the way, you are actually violating. You are actually violating. So I am exercising my recourse as we speak.
Yeah.
So it's not something that I can't let something like that.
Yeah.
Go.
And they are always opposed as well to golden handshakes and all of that. Were you paid out anything?
Absolutely. So that was the agreement. Okay. The agreement was I was paid the remainder
of your contract
of my contract.
Okay. How many years were you left with?
I was left with about 2.5 years.
Long time.
No, it was a long time.
Yeah.
It was, but that's actually what happens. That's how the public money is wasted. The public money is wasted in handshakes that are not necessary.
Yeah.
And the councillors, they make a business decision. And so their business decision is as follows. How much does it cost to keep Moeketsi as a municipal manager? They say 2.5 million a year. Okay, fine. They say, but he's controlling 40 billion rand budget. Just give the guy 2.5 million. Let's get him out of the way so that we have access to 40 billion.
38 point something billion out of the deal.
Are you with me? So that's their thinking. For them, so it's a business decision. So get the right guy out of the system. Let's get our guy. Let's continue to loot and do whatever we want. Yeah. And then you just pay him, whatever he wants. So I'm saying, Cizo, we must not allow that. The cities, the people in the city must know how their money is spent. That Tshwane is busy spending money on the lawfare against public servants that they have actually agreed to separate with.
Yeah, that's bad.
It's actually quite bad. And they are doing so simply because they are vindictive. In a city where the services are so bad, how do you even, spend another 2 million on a lawyer for matters like that? So those are some of the things that and that's how I responded.
Okay. So now the GladAfrica issue. There were reports by the public protector. It was investigated, I think, even by the AG, as you said. Okay, we know in the media it was reported that, when the storm was still brewing, that you have done wrong regarding that contract.
That's right.
And then, as you said, you were vindicated, basically. But now, I know in the book you talk about the media's role in the whole saga involving you. Let's focus on the media. Did they write or rather update the stories to report back even of what eventually happened?
Yeah. So, I mean, thank you so much, Caesar. I mean, this is probably one of like really my favorite chapter in the book. And I think I need to put context to it. You see, I'm a Democrat, so I believe fundamentally in the balance in reporting in society. Okay?
Yeah.
I fundamentally believe in the check and balances that our constitution provide. And so we refer to the media as the fourth estate, right? After the executive, after the legislature, and after the judiciary. Then you have the media. So media plays a very fundamental role in democracy, the one that I support wholeheartedly. So I'm not the person who says the media has no place to role in society.
Yeah. In other words, you have no issues that
I have no issues.
They were reporting that.
Absolutely. I have no issues that bad things must be reported and also good things.
Yeah.
However, there is a tendency in South African media that has moved away from the fundamental role of media as independent, as factual, and that basically is driven by evidence. We are now in an area of sensationalism. So in the context of GladAfrica, for an example, when the story broke, I released the entire record. I put it in my boardroom so that any member of the media can come and scrutinize it to see exactly what happened. Until today, no city manager has ever released a full record of a tender like I did. That's number one. No media came to check that record except for one. Only one journalist came, and everybody else that wrote about GladAfrica was sensational and not factual. And I quote names of people in the book. I said, this is what the journalists say. This is what the Auditor General said. So the Auditor General said there were technical mistakes that were made, but there was no money stolen, and this was not a case of corruption. And the city manager needs to basically go and correct the technical processes, which I did.
Which was not reported.
That media did not report. The public protector independently agreed with the AG to say that this was a matter of technicality and not wrongdoing and not corruption. There was no money. Nobody reported that, and nobody ever corrected. Now, the thing about it is that you could see it is very unlikely that all of media can absolutely report the story the same way, framing the city manager as corrupt and actually saying that the city manager is corrupt without evidence.
But you mentioned that minutes of war room, DA war room, were leaked to you.
Absolutely.
And the decision there was that, or rather the way forward was that you should be tarnished. Your name should be tarnished. You should be linked to corruption. So, do you think any correlation?
So that is the thing. You start to wonder why is it that the media would take one story of the Democratic Alliance and not mine? So now we are sitting in a room right now. Our good friend there come and find us arguing. You saying that, you know what, Moeketsi, it's raining. I say, Caesar, no, it's not raining. And then he's the member of the media. His job is not to agree with you or agree with me. His job is to open the window and see if it's raining outside.
Nice way to put it,
But in this particular case, the media didn't do that. They actually went with one of us without actually any evidence. And so the question is, why is it that the media chose the site? Why is it that the media did not remain neutral in reporting the story? I think the GladAfrica story, when it's analyzed from a media perspective, it really looks, South African media looks exceptionally bad. Because here the media acted like hired guns and not independent media that we should have. I worry about that as a Democrat, because if people lose faith in our reporters, then it will actually even make corruption to be worse.
Yeah.
So the media needs to really reflect about how GladAfrica was. So that's why I say this was not few bad apples. This was not few bad journalists writing bad stories or being belligerent. This was a total collapse of an institution. That is why SANEF needs to look at this as a case study. That's why those editors of the newspapers needs to say what happened here, and to be able to really use this as a case study of how do you actually make sure you continue to remain neutral in the face of fire. So my question to the media is, they need to tell me why is it they chose to join the mob as opposed to telling the facts. There are a couple of things which I think are quite important.
Yeah.
Just to highlight.
Yeah, just to highlight, we need people to buy the book, obviously.
Absolutely.
So just highlight.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So, Tshwane, this book, Sizo, it's a warning.
Yeah.
It's a warning in our country. It is a very serious warning about South Africans that needs to wake up about what's happening in their municipalities.
Yeah, because also relevant because, as we know, it's not only now the metros, other smaller municipalities are hung, and it looks like in the future it's going to be like that. We're going to have many coalition governments, and your experience and what your book is about is really relevant. I'm happy you've got lessons we'll go through them, and also resolutions of how should this thing be run in the coalitions.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So Sizo, this book is a warning. And in many ways, this is more than a book. It's my contribution as a senior public service to the national dialogue in our country about the importance of good governance, where we are saying bad governance is bad for democracy. Badly run municipalities are bad for service delivery.
True.
And it's a warning because Tshwane is a capital city. Allow me to speak about the capital city a little bit.
Yeah, please go ahead.
A capital city is one place that every South African feels connected to. You could come from the Bundus in this country, but the capital city belongs to all of us. We are all proud about Tshwane.
Yeah.
Tshwane, it's also the window, our window, your window, my window to the world. When people visit us here, they come here first. The dignitaries, they come to the union buildings there. So they experience us, our country, through our capital city. Right? So the pride that the capital city that we have, we want our capital city to be one of the best among nations. When you talk about Paris, when you talk about Washington, when you talk about New York, when you talk about Tshwane, Tshwane must stand there tall among those countries, right? And those capital cities. So that's how important, and that's why the book's name is The Nation's Capital. Now, in war, the enemy attacks the capital city first. Yeah. And if the capital city falls, so is the country. So if Tshwane governance falls, if we as a South Africans are not able to turn Tshwane around and Tshwane collapses as it is at the moment, all municipalities will collapse. I agree with you. Tshwane is a representation of a much bigger problem. It's not only in Tshwane, it's in Johannesburg. It's in Ekurhuleni. It is in the Nelson Mandela Bay,
Yeah.
Area. So in many ways, this is and so this book shows the stories. I tell about one story of some one old gentleman who called me on a Sunday on my phone. When you're a city manager, everybody has your mobile phone. It's actually quite scary, actually. It's amazing how that happens.
But it comes with the job.
It does come with the job. And that's why I was never upset about it, because that's actually what you do. Anyway, this old gentleman, I'm not going to mention his name, just pure out of respect. 85 years old. Bred and born, born and bred in Tshwane. On a Saturday, one Saturday afternoon in 2018. He calls me with his car and his motorcade convoy stuck at one of our city's crematorium.
Okay,
when he gets there, he finds the crematorium is closed.
Okay, or they were going to do a service there.
So they were going to bury the wife, her life partner, the person that she spent time with. Gets there, there's no electricity, there's no backup, there's no water. And then calls me and says, city manager, what do I do? I made an appointment, there's no one here. So when the guys closed my staff, as it were at the time, when they left, they just left. They never even had the courtesy to call the guy to say that, hey, listen, look for an option, or we have made an alternative option to go to the... So when governance fail, people suffer. And there is no time like a time when you are burying a loved one that you ask of your own city, that you pay for services. When I looked at his bill, the guy was in good standing. He didn't owe the city anything. So this is a typical model citizen that you want, somebody who pays their services. And all what the guy was requesting us was to help him at his hour of need. That's what happens when governance collapses. People suffer, and they suffer for real. The other issue that I want to talk about is, sometimes we talk about governance theoretically. For a public servant to agree to do something wrong because a politician says so, that's a breakdown of governance. So this is also a warning to public servants. Don't come here and tell us that the devil made me do it.
And also, those instructions are always verbal.
They are always
not
verbal.
written down.
And then as a professional, you must know that you are the one who's going to account before some judge somewhere, someday. And if it's necessary, you will end up in jail.
But a municipal manager somewhere or CFO somewhere facing this kind of a situation is being given a wrong instruction.
Absolutely.
What best can they do to protect themselves, but also at the same time nurse the relationship as well with their bosses?
Absolutely.
And continue being in their positions.
In governance, you can't sit on the fence. Matters of governance are very, very clear. It's either you implement the law or you don't.
It's your choice.
It's completely your choice. So what did I do when I was under siege? I stood my ground. Even if they tried to use the law to do the wrong things, the law stood for me because I was actually doing the right thing. By law. So my advice to public servants is that keep your nose clean. And do not allow yourself to be used by politicians, because tomorrow you will be on the dock and in the dock, and the politician won't be there.
True. Fair enough. But now here is a problem. I get challenged. You are an official. You're given these instructions.
Yes.
You refuse. Then the legal process is very expensive.
Very.
I think most people the problem, they are reluctant to be as steadfast as you were and be stubborn about what you stand for, is the issue that they've got to pay out of their own pockets, go to court. I mean, you can't fight the government. It's got a muscle, financial muscle, and you just survive on a salary.
I agree.
So
no, I think it's a point. One of the points that I make as the lesson is that city managers and administrators should not be scapegoats, but enablers of good democracy. So what do I mean by that? It is easier for executive mayor to take me to council to fire me than it is for me to go to council and complain about the executive mayor. So the system, the way it is stacked up against public servants. It is very much supportive of the politicians. So one I'm making here is the office of the city manager needs to be protected. All right?
Yes. Which
means that the city manager must have the right to defend themselves using the council resources, because that's exactly what the mayor is using. So if Caesar is under siege and believes that he has to protect his right in law, then the council must have the obligation, especially if it's a matter that relates to your job, as it was the case in my case. Are you with me? So it's very important that we look at that. And we must make sure that the office of the city manager continue to be a neutral office. City manager cannot be an ANC city manager. City manager cannot be a DA city manager.
No matter, it's irrespective of who is in power.
It is irrespective of who is in power. That's very, very important. Now, that is not to say you don't have a party you vote for. No, that's not what we're saying. Every South Africans have the right to choose any party to vote. But there must be a separation of function between an administrative function and a political function. And as I used to tell my colleagues in Tshwane, when you get into my office, you leave your monkey at my door. That means your political affiliation. So you come in as a pure professional civil service, because then that way we can talk without necessarily offending each other, because we're talking about service, which is something both of us care about, and about how to be able to resolve the issues. So I say that that is one of the issues. The other one that I raise, I spoke to you about the kingmaker's dilemma. That the EFF was a kingmaker in Tshwane. It was in the kingmaker in the sense that it is their votes that gave DA the power to run Tshwane and to be a leading party in that coalition. However, the EFF had a serious dilemma, because on the one hand, they were chairing all the political committees. On the other hand, they were making executive decisions together with the DA. That undermines our democracy. Our democracy is a system of check and balance. That's why we have the judiciary, we have the executive, and we have the legislature. The theory of all that is that you cannot be in the legislature and be in the executive. That is why when the president, after he is elected as the president, stops becoming an MP, a member of parliament. It is separation. That is the separation of powers. The kingmaker role undermines separation of powers. The EFF was both the referee and the player in Tshwane. And it is not only in Tshwane, it is also true in Joburg. It is also true in Ekurhuleni. I am proposing in my book to say that we need to come up with a coalition legislation that makes sure that we represent the balance of powers and separation of powers. So if EFF is going to be in coalition with the DA in Tshwane, they cannot be in the legislature. They must go to be in the executive, and they must make executive decisions. Then everybody else who's left in the legislature, the ANC and other party, then they can hold them accountable. And if they choose to be on the legislature side, then they can't make executive decisions. So the law then must actually prevent that kind of playing around. I also suggest that the law must have a you won't believe this. While I was in the Tshwane, there was no agreement, a written agreement between DA and EFF. It was a gentleman's agreement.
Wow.
Which meant that I will support you when I agree with you. and I won't support you when I disagree with you. That's basically what it was.
So there was no agreement.
There was no agreement. None.
But the law doesn't require that.
There is no law as we sit here today in South Africa that requires any political party to have an agreement in place. That is very wrong.
Okay, it's a new thing, understandably.
Yeah.
But obviously, it's a trend. I mean, in the future, as I said, we're going to have more municipalities that are governed by coalition.
It is true.
Obviously, there must be laws guiding this. There must be policies, regulations, and other things, how a coalition should work.
I completely agree with you. And that's one of the things I suggest in the book. I'm saying that there must be a coalition legislation that actually makes it a requirement.
Yeah.
One, that there must be a written agreement between political parties. Two, that agreement must be certified by court, making it a legal document, so that if there is a dispute, it's not what's happening now where people suffer.
Yeah.
When the two bulls are fighting, they can go to the judge, and the judge says that, well, guys, you agree with this. Well, you have failed to do this. This is what happens. And then services move forward. You see what I mean? And that the only way that they can cancel that agreement, it has to be sanctioned by the court. You see what you're doing? So you avoid this thing of where the EFF is sitting there thinking, oh no, we don't like that, so we don't vote for that. You see, so they don't have a choice, because then the agreement will set out the parameters of what needs to be done, how to go about it, and it will also have a conflict resolution mechanism that says if we disagree, this is how we deal with it, and then until where it can serve before the court. They don't want to do it because what's happening now, the kind of chaos that's happening now in our cities, it's a fertile ground for them, to do their evil deeds of continuing to steal from our people and not actually helping them to grow.
Yeah. Just in a case where, well, the previous case, I'm not sure if we'll ever go back to it.
Yes.
Where one party has the majority.
Yes.
Now, how does the party checks itself?
Yes.
Because now they are both in the executive, they are both in the legislature.
Yeah.
So how do they do that?
So
that basically means power is absolute when you just win over.
That is where, my brother, other than just laws, you can. I mean, Caesar, you've been around long enough to know that you can't legislate how people live. Like, there are certain things where you just have to appoint the right people to do the right job.
Yeah.
Because even if you have a perfect legislation, if you get the wrong guy, he's going to ignore it. Yeah. So to your point, a lot of our political parties are faced with challenge of coming up with systems within them that actually must appoint the right people. So this is where I talk about meritocracy. Yeah. So I'm an academic, I write.
Yeah.
So meritocracy is the system that identifies the most qualified among us, the most capable among us, the most experienced. So the best among us to actually to be able to be doing the job.
Yes.
In China, you are never getting a leadership position unless you are the best among us. So an example, if you take the political bureau of the Communist Party of China, the top 6 posts, right?
Yeah.
4 guys have PhDs, 2 masters, 3 of them in engineering. And these are not administrators, by the way. I'm talking about the politicians.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the Chinese have realized that this is so important that we are not only going to ask administration to have qualifications, we are also only going to appoint politicians that are educated. So President Jinping, Xi now, President Xi, he's got a PhD, he's an engineer, qualified engineer. Also what they do, they look at what have you done before. So you will not be in the executive of the Communist Party, unless you have run a city like Shanghai, which is like a second largest city, or you have run Beijing or Guangzhou or Xi'an, right? This is like a massive Chinese cities. So for you to be at national, you must at least have run one of these, or even a province like Mpumalanga, like Free State. They're not going to take what we do here. We take literally somebody out of nowhere and we made them a premier. The guy has never run a small corner, a coffee shop.
We'll say they've passed through the eye of the needle.
The eye of the needle. It must be really big. It must be a really big. It must be a really big needle, right? Yeah. But I completely hear you. So yes. There will never be, I suppose that's my answer to your question, Caesar. There is no alternative to common sense. Common sense says we must appoint the right people. Yeah. We must choose the good people that are going to help our people. Caesar, let me tell you, our country economy is tough.
It is.
I grew up in Mangaung.
Yeah.
I go and see my mother there from time to time. Our people are struggling, bro. And it is not okay what's happening. And we cannot have the level of political thuggerism that is so determined to take so much away from our people when they're struggling the way they do.
Yeah.
We can't do that. So that's why there is a point where people like Mukwanezi must speak out. You see? And this book, it's my way of saying this is a warning.
Yeah.
Wake up. You know, these people are up to something else.
Yeah.
And if you are not careful, you're going to lose your city. And when you lose your city, you'll lose the stuff.
Yeah.
And I ask myself a question: what kind of people are these? What kind of people that would steal when so many people live in poverty? What kind of people who'd rather buy 5 supercars, a Mercedes-Benz, a Ferrari, a Maserati, a Range Rover, you know, when they are actually stealing money from actually poor people? What kind of people, what kind of values as a society?
Yeah.
What kind of leaders are actually leading us? So this book starts to say we need to question that.
Yeah.
And indeed to say that governance, a good governance is our heritage. This is Heritage Month. You know, and why do we say that? It's Mandela left us with a functioning country.
Yeah.
That's what we inherited from him. Nelson Mandela left us with a working constitution.
Yeah.
That's what we inherited. When Mandela died, the spirit of our people and the confidence in our country was so high. So we know how good it can be. And I'm talking about even in our new democracy. You know, so I'm saying to South Africans, remember that good governance, it is the heritage that we were given by our forefather.
Yeah.
And we have to make sure that we keep it because it's our future. And I'm saying to South Africans, unless you do that, okay, you are losing a country and you only have one country. And if you are not careful, you are going to be exactly what Zimbabweans are in South Africa today.
Yeah.
You are going to be exactly what Nigerians are, Ethiopians, people who have run away from their own country because their government failed to be able to develop to a point where it actually sustains it. Our country is just too beautiful. It's just too great to fall like that. And I'm saying to South Africans, let's have this conversation. And it must not only be a conversation. We must now start to act. Because things are really, really bad.
Yeah, exactly. But you've written a book, of course. But is there any other way where your ideas, more in particular about the coalition government, how they should be structured, managed, and so forth? Because that's the future for South Africa. We can deny it all we want, but that's what it is. But is there a platform where you can just present all these ideas, amongst other ideas, of course, to be discussed so that something eventually final comes out on how this coalition government should be run and structured and everything.
Absolutely. So first, I'm issuing a warning through the book. Two, I will deposit this book as my contribution to the national dialogue, because it talks about what actually needs to happen. Yeah. And I intend to participate also in the context of national, a dialogue. Okay. I am also waiting for the draft. I've been told there's a draft bill on coalition. Oh, great. I heard the deputy president. They're working on the draft. I haven't seen it. Okay. I intend to participate both in terms of writing, but also I will avail myself when there are debates in Parliament. On the issue to basically to continue to shape that. Yeah. What I'm excited about also, I will be on a tour to universities talking to students. Okay. It's very important. Yeah. This is the stuff that students need to know, because these are the leaders of future leaders. And by engaging with them at this level that you and I are talking about, I hope some of them will watch your podcast and will actually be able to. I've seen some of your episodes, that you have conducted. Broad range of people that actually follow it. That's actually what I'm doing, because it's not only about changing the law; it's also changing the mindset. The mindset, yeah. It's about young people saying that, but we can't accept this. And for young people, it's even bad, because once the country is mortgaged, they are the ones that will suffer the most. Yeah, exactly. So that's why for me, I am just so keen to engage. I wrote this book in a very, very, very simple to read way. Yeah. It was 398 pages. Okay. I went to a symposium that says, if you want young people to write this book, 398 is too long of a book. The young people don't read. Yeah, the concentration span is getting a little by little. They really opened my eyes, because they said to me, because of social media, young people, they read news in snippets. They don't sit and read a book and then the way it's going now, if your book is more longer than 150 pages, forget it. Yes. They say that those books are not bought and not read. So then I had to completely cram everything down. So it's a very simple book to read. You can catch, after a tough week, at work on a Friday, you start on a Friday. I'm telling you, for Sunday afternoon, it's done. Yeah, no. I've looked at. I was a little bit worried that as an academic, it might come as complex as that. Not at all. But it's very simple. I've just read through the few chapters. Simple. It's an easy read. It's an easy read, and also to deal with the issue of snippets. You'll see there are even titles. Yeah. Even in the book itself. So it's a very interesting, it looks like an academic book, but it's actually a storybook. It's a storybook. So my son, who is basically in grade 9, read it. He's able to read it. Read it. And his comment was like, wow, Dad, actually, this is very interesting, because I actually thought, I know you write academic papers all the time. I thought it was going to be, I was just like, this is a story. Yeah. And I could actually basically understand it. And I was like, Dad, that's on the money. If a grade 9, can say, okay, no, I can read this, and actually understood it and basically finished it in a weekend. Exactly. I mean, so that's the idea. Even academic papers will not be gathering dust. Everybody should be able to read them. They should be rewritten in a simple language for everybody to understand. It really has to be simple, because even though, you've covered the politics before, and you have a functioning understanding, but not everybody does. That's why you find that a lot of stuff I explain in there. Just to say so that a person who's not necessarily a politician can be able to understand. So yes, so I hope the people find it that way. Yeah, how do people find it? Is it going to be in bookshops? Yes. So after the 26th, which is in 2 weeks, it will be in the bookshops nationally. Okay. In the meantime, people can actually access it online. Okay. It's on Amazon. Okay. So you go to Amazon.com /author /M Mosola, Mosola.
Yeah.
So you can be able to actually order a book already on Amazon. But also if you go to my Facebook page,
Okay.
which is basically my name, Moeketsi Mosola, you'll find the banking details there. And then I can be able to, between now and the launch, I will be able to courier to you if you are outside of Pretoria.
Okay.
Or it can actually be delivered to you if you are in Pretoria.
Oh, okay. No, that's really great.
Yeah.
That's really great. I think you've said a mouthful about everything, your experiences. Right now, where are you? What are you doing? What are you up to?
Yeah, I mean, it's exciting stuff. As I say that I'm a public servant. You know, I'm a public servant at at heart. I am now currently helping the government of Nkangala to grow the economy.
In Mpumalanga.
It's in Mpumalanga, Nkangala, which is
district.
A district, but specifically it's the Tshwane municipality that the offices are based.
Okay.
And you know what's happening there because of the climate change.
Yeah.
Nkangala is the coal belt of South Africa. And I don't know if you guys knew that Nkangala produces 51% of electricity generation in our country.
Yeah, we know
so,
that.
So the four largest Eskom power stations are based in Nkangala district.
Yes.
And so what's happening there because of climate change?
Yeah.
Right? As the mining actually started to slow down.
Yes.
And given the mining is such a major employer, we are now basically trying to diversify the economy.
Yeah.
So so my job is to help them attract tourism companies because it's such a beautiful province. They call it the cultural heartland of Mpumalanga.
Yeah.
I mean, they refer to somebody like Esther Mahlangu.
Yes.
You know, I mean, never have I seen anybody promote their heritage and their culture
like that,
like she has done. I mean, the Mandela must be very, very lucky people. I hope that I'm as proud about her as I am, because what she's done in promoting Ndebele culture, it is absolutely staggering.
Hopefully there will be other people following in their footsteps.
There are, in fact, Ugogo Mguni also coming from that particular side.
Oh, okay.
You know, there's the JS Morocco,
area.
Yeah. So you have a lot of cultural assets there.
Yeah.
So we're trying to promote that. The other thing is that Nkangala is the headquarters of World Steel. So Columbus Steel.
Yeah.
And what is the other one? There are two of them.
There was Highveld Steel.
Highveld, yes. Columbus and Highveld. They are both. One is in Emalahleni, one is in Steve Tshwane.
Yes.
Right? They are experiencing the toughest economic circumstances. Most of their markets used to be international.
Yes.
But because of the prices, the dollar price is now at 1 to 19, 1 to 20.
Yeah.
South Africa has become too expensive, for them. So now we have to make sure we create demand for steel in South Africa. Because the international prices are so.
Yeah.
So we also have now to change that.
Oh.
And then last but not least, of course, I mean, Mpumalanga and Nkangala area is known for good agricultural processing.
Yeah.
Citrus, citrus fruits, peanuts.
Yeah.
And goat farming, interestingly.
Goat farming,
yeah. So we are now starting to expand that. So what we are saying is that we recognize that mining activity is going to slow down.
Yes.
And people are going to lose their jobs.
Yes.
And then those people have to be absorbed in other economies. So that's really what I'm doing now, helping them to develop a system.
How about green energy?
That's what climate change is about.
Yes.
Obviously. One of the power stations in Nkangala there by Komati has been decommissioned.
Yeah.
And it was done very badly. Yeah, I mean, 5,000 jobs lost there.
Yeah.
It's really terrible what happened there.
Yeah.
So we're saying that we must not do that.
Yeah.
Now we are busy working with Eskom to convert that plant, which was a coal plant, into gas, plant.
Oh,
so renewable energy. So we actually started to do that. And also then now we are starting to manufacture panels.
Yeah.
What is this? They call them solar panels.
Solar panels, yeah.
That's correct. So that now they become accessible to communities. Because a lot of communities still don't have access to that. It's still a bit expensive.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like, it's an exciting work. It's an exciting work. I'm very fascinated about finding solutions to get our people to work. Yeah. Especially in Mpumalanga. I mean, Mpumalanga has a big challenge of young people who are unemployed. True. And females. Yeah. Yeah. So it's a tough one. It's a tough one. I worry about what's happening to young people in our country. I really worry. So
it's hopeless,
No, it's very difficult.
Some people, 30 years, 28 years, they've just given up on finding jobs.
Completely. I mean, and I don't know if these politicians still go into the townships. I still go. I mean, the other day I was just here in Tembisa here. I normally take my kids. I like football.
Yeah.
So there was football there at Mahulo. And so, we're driving the car, we put the car down. Young people, wherever we're going, young people sitting outside with alcohol on a Sunday.
Problem, yeah.
Big problem everywhere. And the thing about it, you can't blame young people. Young people have no options. We have not given these young people things to do. Exactly. We have asked them to go to school. Most of them have, by the way.
Yeah.
And most of them are qualified.
Yes.
And then we do not keep our deal of actually making sure that there are opportunities, when they come out. And young people are nice and frustrated. I mean, if you can see the level of mental health challenges that young people have in our country, are worrying, man. Are worrying. That's why a lot of them are on drugs, alcohol, and God forbid, can also start to explain the whole issue of GBV in terms of happening, especially when you're dealing with young men, with no particular supervision, and so forth. So yeah. So I'm very, very passionate about. So what I'm doing there, it's really focusing on creating opportunities, especially for young people.
Yeah.
Because we have to keep our young people working. We have to give our young people hope.
Yeah.
As somebody said, that the country that does not value their youth does not deserve its future. And I agree.
True. No, those are powerful words.
Yeah.
And I think I've run out of questions. I'll leave the platform to you if you've got remarks to make to conclude.
No problem. But this is a book that every South African must read. I strongly believe this is a book that every South African, must read. A public servant, even if you're a public servant, you must read it.
Yeah.
And I do want to highlight South Africans must realize that bad governance does not happen overnight. It happens over time.
Yeah.
And our people must stop having high tolerance for wrong things. Our people need to see things early and act. And as I said, if Tshwane can fall, so will Johannesburg, so will Ekurhuleni, Cape Town, and we will not have a country to speak about.
Yeah.
I hope they can get a copy of this book and read, and I will also welcome a feedback.
Yeah.
So that we can engage. This is more than a book. A lot of people will see a lot of things that are familiar, and then we can engage with them and take the conversation forward. And let me take opportunity to thank you for taking time and sharing a few hours with me talking about this very important topic that is very close to my heart.
Oh, no, very, very important. And thanks for making time just to write this book. And as somebody who has been there, you're talking about things that you really know. We are not speculating. You've been there.
That's correct.
So it's going to be very helpful to the nation at large.
Powerful.
And people who still are going to walk in your footsteps as well. They go in those offices with open minds.
Hopefully.
I think future municipal managers after next year's elections, in hung municipalities, or even in municipalities where one party is dominating.
That's right.
Good lessons to learn from
very,
you.
Very important.
Thanks very much, and thanks very much for agreeing to talk to us. A small podcast, but thanks very much.
This is the debate for everyone. I mean, that's really the issue. Thank you so much.
Thanks.
Great.